Hi, guys. Good afternoon and happy spring. I am Simone Irvin Crawford of Sensational Design and Events Planning LLC, and I am here this afternoon to deal with the elephant in the room, and that is the topic of fear. Now, in my community or on Facebook, we have a community which is the Posh Academy with Miss Precious Stephen, who's a dripping queen. We have a number of classes, and she teaches us a lot. And in dealing with the other women and listening to conversations in that community, and even outside of the community, you would hear people talk about the fear of doing this, they're in their own way, the fear of putting things in place, the fear of speaking. And I think as business owner, it is not that you don't have the confidence, but I think it's the fear of judgment. You know what you're doing, you know what you want to do, you know what you have in mind as designers, but or event planners, but sometimes fear keeps us in our own way. So this is part one of the emotion called fear. And metaphorically speaking, it can be our inner prison or is the silent thief because it can lock you in your comfort. And in the business world, comfort is not good for business. So, fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is often based on illusion or a perception, it's not reality. So, having said that, fear can have powerful effects on a person mentally, emotionally, or physically. And I will break down the three effects that it can have on us. Now, the physical aspect of fear, that is where the fight, flight, or freeze mode kicks in. When something happens, is either you run or you stand still because fear, it captivates you. Fear activity activates the body stress response, releasing adrenaline or cortisol. This can make your heart race, your muscle tense, and your breathing quickens. It can further weaken your immune system. Prolonged fear or anxiety can suppress your immunity, making you more vulnerable to illness. And this is true. This can further lead to sleeping problems. Fear often causes insomnia, nightmares, or restless sleep. The second effect is the emotional effect of fear. Paralysis and avoidance. Fear may stop someone from taking action, trying new things, or moving forward in life. I know for me, fear is real because the whole aspect of eating different foods, because of I've worked in the health sector, and you see how, I guess the question is, you don't know how things are being prepared, and it's not a lot of persons that does things for the right benefits. People do things because of their own reason, and the fear of eating different things. I mean, I have a phobia, so that is me, and I can tell you it's really, 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 really real. And the other thing is flying. A lot of persons, even myself, because of all that's going on, the fear of flying. If you worry with fear, sometimes you don't do a lot of things, but I guess we have to live and just pray and take one day at a time. anxiety and panic. Fear, the chronic fear evolves into persistent anxiety, phobias, or panic attack. Um, I know once I was involved in an accident, and I do drive. The road is crazy, but if I'm in a vehicle and it's going too fast, I cringe. That's how real fear get to me. There's also the aspect of hopelessness. Living in constant fear may create feelings of hopelessness, insecurity, or lack of control. And you have mental and behavioral effect. Clouded thinking. Fears narrow focus, making it harder to think rationally, make decisions, or solve problems. Your judgment is clouded because you can't think rationally because of fear. Memory and learning issues. High stress hormones interfere with memory formation and concentration. You have controlling behavior. Because of fear, fear may cause someone to be over controlling, and that situation causes people to feel more fearful, and you won't feel safe because of that situation. And you have self-sabotage, the fear of failure, rejection, or judgment. It often keeps people from chasing their dreams or seizing opportunities. And then sometimes, instead of going and sabotage yourself, you may just shut down and, don't do anything. But there's a positive side to this. Not all fear is harmful, and it can protect you from danger. That is avoiding unsafe situation. Sometimes you think because of fear you don't want to do something, and then sometimes that can be good because it can protect you from maybe something that was to happen, that when you hear, you say, well, okay, I thought about that but I didn't do it, but then now look at the result. It can motivate you to grow. Fear of failure can push someone to prepare harder, because if you're looking at someone doing something and you're saying, I know I can do it but I'm fearful, but then someone may encourage you and say, put aside your fear, and then you may say, well, okay, let me try, and you put your all into it and you're successful. It sharpens your awareness, making you more alert in risky environment. Sometimes you may hear people say, or even me, because of fear, you're always looking, you're always on the alert. So maybe when you hear something, somebody say something, you bolt, and then you might be saved from something. So in short, fear can be both a shield and a chain. In small doses, it keeps you safe and alert. But when it takes over, it robs you of peace, opportunity, and even health. So, even though fear is there and it is real, it can be a good and a bad. And in part 2, I'll deal with ways to overcome or manage fear. So maybe you may need to get help, have some more self-control, do exercises, who knows, and see how you can be able to deal with this emotional, physical, or mental aspect of fear. So you can follow me on Facebook or at Sensational Design and Events Planning LLC, or on Instagram at i.am.simone-irving. Thanks for listening, and I hope you can learn something from this podcast. Bye.